Okay, so number 11 says the function rt equals 2t plus 4. The function q of t equals a times r of t, where a is a constant. The graph of qt is shown below. What is the value of a? So the first thing I have to do is figure out what the equation of this line is. And remember, we always figure out the equation of a line by saying y equals mx plus b. So we have to look for the slope and we have to look for the y-intercept. That function is really just a constant multiplied by this linear equation right here. So we know r of t equals 2t plus 4. And we're trying to figure out what qt equals. So remember, q of t and r of t is just a fancy way to say y. So y equals mx plus b. The first thing I can look is see that it goes by ones. So my y-intercept is -2. So I'm replacing my b with -2. My slope is rise 2, run 2. And it's a negative slope. So my slope is -2 all over 2, which really just equals -1. So q of t equals -1x minus 2. Sorry, they use t, so let me rewrite that as q of t equals -1 t minus 2. Instead of the x, it's t. So now I have q of t, and I know r of t equals 2t plus 4. I need to figure out what number I multiply 2 by to get 1. Because remember, q of t is really just this multiplied by a constant a. So I can look and see that my positive 2 became a -1. So I'm definitely multiplying this by a negative number. So I can cross off B and A. Because think about it, 2 times 2 is 4. I have a -1 here. Half of 2 is 1, but it's a -1, which means I am going to pick D. And I can double check by saying Q of t equals A times R of t. My A is -1/2. My R of t is 2t plus 4. A -1/2 of 2 is -1t. A -1/2 of 4 is -2. Isn't that what we have here? So my final answer for the value of A is -1/2.